Welcome to Victim Justice Unveiled, a space where truth is honored, resilience is amplified, and justice is reimagined. Here, survivors, families, advocates, and system leaders come together to navigate the complex path of healing, accountability, and reform. Whether you're watching or listening, thank you for joining us in this journey where voices are uplifted and change begins. I'm your host, Tamara Musolino. Let's begin.
Angelica Bravo was a mother, a daughter, a force of light. On July 8th, 2024, that light was extinguished. Her death remains under investigation. Her children, Athena and Mateo, vanished that same day. What followed was not just heartbreak, it was a system scrambling to respond. Local police, federal agents, and prosecutors. But for Angelica's family, the search became personal, relentless, and sacred. Today, we walk through that search, through the grief, through the gaps, through the love that refuses to let go. The loss didn't end with Angelica. It reverberates through the lives of those who loved her most, those still holding hope, a family left searching, a child, aunts, uncles, parents, and grandparents, each carrying memories, each refusing to let go. Today, my guest on Victim Justice Unveiled is Julie. Julie, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience and tell them why you're here today?
Last summer of 2024, and my niece, she was found dead in her ex-boyfriend's home. And that same evening, she's got two children, a 5 and 3 now, and they've been missing since that day. So the family is grieving Angelica's death, and also have been working with authorities to, we want the safe return of her children, Athena and Mateo. And we are desperately trying to get their faces out in the public and get any kind of help that we can receive to bring them home.
Okay, well, thank you for being here, and I hope that we're able to make that a reality through this podcast and all the different outreach platforms that we're working with. So why don't we start a little bit with the children and your relationship with them, and what have helped. Any tips that you might be able to share with the audience on what's helped so far with relationship to outreach? connecting with the communities to try and get that word out.
Yeah, absolutely. My relationship with the children, they were fairly young, and I didn't see them very often. I was very close with, much closer to their mother, Angelica. I've known her since the day she was. I married into the family, and I've known Angelica's own mom, Dawn, gosh, for over 2 decades now. When all of this happened, my heart just broke for the entire family. I mean, the ripple effect of this kind of event, it's been very different than anything I've ever experienced before. And I think I look at the news differently now. Prior to this, if I saw a headliner about, somebody got killed, and it was just kind of on the news, and then, I wouldn't think about it. Now when I see that type of story on the news, I realize there's a whole family. There's so many people that are impacted by a particular loss. And I think I saw the family just impacted by this, and I'm not wasn't like immediate family with Angelica and her children. I didn't see them on a daily basis, maybe on holidays or a couple times a year. The family, that whole family means a lot to me. I think what I wanted to do is make sure. I mean, I can't even imagine what Dawn is going through. Her mother. Um, her Angelica's little brothers. One of them is my godson. So I wanted to make sure that they were okay. So I would just check on them. And I felt like I needed to do something. I didn't know what to do though. And so I wanted to be some type of a support, especially for Dawn and for her younger brothers and her 13-year-old daughter. And so I just kept checking on them, and it kind of evolved. I would say the biggest, when you're going through this, um, just show up for those who are going through it. Not really, show up and check on them, and just, I don't know, it's a funny thing. Like I would ask Dawn, how are you doing? Well, I know she's not like it just seems like a stupid question to ask her. Um, so I don't know, I guess don't be afraid to reach out.
I think
Um,
that's a good point too, because a lot of people are afraid to reach out because they don't want to say the
yes.
wrong thing.
Yes.
So I'm really glad you're bringing that up because I think that's so important for people that are going through something so horrific to understand, if you're not the one going through it, to put yourself in their shoes, it's impossible. But going ahead and at least reaching out, even if you say the wrong thing, you're trying.
And that's kind of what I decided was, okay, I don't know what to say. There are no words I can say to make this better, but I'm just going to show up. And even if I say the wrong thing, like I'm just going to keep showing up, and I would just keep telling Dawn, okay, what's going on? And is there anything I can do for you? And I didn't like asking that either because she didn't know what she needed.
Yeah.
Um,
Who would?
but I didn't know. Yeah. So I just wanted to just wanted to keep showing up, and it's a constant reminder. Like I'm here, and I will always be here. Like I'm gonna do whatever. So, time went on, and it didn't seem like there was getting much traction or movement, and I started just throwing out ideas to Dawn, like, let's make t-shirts, let's put the kids' names on it, let's do an Instagram. Like, we got to get their names out. We got to get their faces out. It needs to be more public. And, just constantly told her how much I loved her and how much, I'm sorry that all of this is happening. And I was just hoping at some point she would need help with something. Um, as far as outreach, and any tips for people that are going through something like this, boy, this has opened up a whole new world for me. There, unfortunately, are so many people that have gone through an experience like this. And it's such a like dark world. It's so heavy. But I have to say that I have met some pretty incredible people who have been through these experiences and who have showed so much love and support and have given me, and I know Dawn as well, just hope, and they're a light. And, you know, I can't even explain the gratitude that I have for these individuals that have personally gone through experiences like this. Um, it's it gives me hope in humanity itself. Um, yeah,
It's always been incredible for me as an advocate walking alongside victims of crime and seeing, and for me, my perspective of doing that, whether it's a crime of something that's on the lower level of the criminal justice system, like a misdemeanor, someone vandalized your car,
mm-hmm.
to someone losing a loved one. And it was always interesting to me, the strength and just courage that the people that have lost
Yes,
have
yes,
in walking through this system that is such a lengthy process to begin with, and with such a great loss to start that process. And
yes,
and they do it in such an incredible way. It's always been awe-inspiring for me. Just really, how do you
right?
put one foot in front of the other?
Yeah. How do you get up every day? Dawn, I admire, she has handled this with so much grace and love. And yeah, I'm in awe of it. So I was
Yeah. But that being said, I mean, you're not of it, but she still has a long way, and
the rest of her life.
the rest of her life, right? It'll never be the same because you lose such a significant piece, and a parent's never supposed to lose their child.
Mm-hmm.
And chills right now. It's just one of the hardest
It's gotta be.
experiences I can even imagine. Not having one, but for them, I don't know. The families that I've worked with, how they do it, how they keep on going. And I guess, in this scenario, maybe her fight is more right now focused on, let's just get the babies home and get them safe.
Yeah.
And
That's the crazy thing about this scenario, is that you're mourning the loss of a loved one, but you're also dealing with the 2 children missing. And it's like, how do you handle all of that?
yeah,
And she's probably one of the strongest people that I know. I'm just in awe. You mentioned the long process.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
also been an eye opener to me as well. And
not like on TV. I think when we had our phone conversation, you talked about it. I thought it was going to be like TV.
right, in an hour they find the bad person and
Yeah.
like it's done. And yeah, no, not at all. And I think if somebody could have educated
that
us, or
expectation.
yes, set that expectation that this is a long process and it's frustrating. It's a frustrating long process.
The criminal justice process is so detailed. It's so detailed. I used to tell victims all the time, they'd call in and, it's a slow and methodical process. It's not going to be fast because, you want to make sure that the right person is convicted of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
And so the evidence that's gathered, it starts out with law enforcement gathering evidence. And it isn't as simple as just, I saw a text message that said X. They have to actually get it from say it's from Apple. They actually have to get a warrant from Apple and ask Apple to give them that information, because you need a chain of evidence from start to finish. You can't just pull something out of air and say, here it is. And so that requires someone to go ask for a warrant. And then it takes time for the people at Apple to get that
Yes.
information and to give it to the law enforcement agency. And so there's this very long process. And the more severe the crime, murder, for example, the longer that process takes, because there's so many more details. And you want to really, really, really make sure you get it right. You don't want to lock up people that didn't do
Right.
the crime. And so, my experience in working homicide cases or murder cases is that process can take a year to 2 years easily, from start to finish. And sometimes it's even longer. It depends on, where they end up going down the process. There are other avenues, the accused could go. Like maybe there's a mental illness in the family, or maybe they were suffering from a mental illness. Well, then their attorney's job is to make sure that they get the help they need. And sometimes I've had cases go 10 years before seeing a courtroom for the actual crime, before they're restored. So it's not the process that we see on TV. It's a long process.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah. So thank you for being there for Dawn. I'm sure that she appreciates you more than she's probably told you.
I wish I could do more. I tell her that all the time. Yes, she does thank me, and I say, I wish I could do more, and I do. I was going to say one more point as far as outreach. If others are going through this, at least for me, I've found that talking about it, and because there are a lot of people who have unfortunately experienced similar situations and who have gone through this, talking about it, it's amazing how small this world really is, and kind of connecting the dots. Dawn and I have established, we've met some amazing, amazing people who are more, like I said, more than willing and happy and helping us along this journey, who have been through it, and we're really leaning on them to guide us.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, to put yourself out there and talk about it. Kind of research some nonprofits around the area, and I guess get out there.
Yeah,
Find your village.
Find your village. Yeah. There are a lot of areas to look. The internet. I mean, there's so many resources now on the internet, but there are a lot of nonprofits in our community and throughout the state, nationally, that do help in finding kiddos and in helping with those that have lost a loved one to murder.
Right.
So definitely reach out for those resources. And I know that Placer County has a really good resource with the Placer Justice Foundation, and I'm trying to create a platform to help support victims that are going through, whatever they're going through, to try and help them navigate that process. So that's just one I can think of off the top of my head, but there are many, many, many resources, I think.
They really are.
And
I'm learning.
And what connects with you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not every resource is going to connect with every person.
Right.
So whatever connects with you, it's important to stay with those that are going to be like-minded and support, providing that support. So if someone had a tip or thought that maybe they saw one of the kids, Athena or Mateo, what would be a way that you would suggest that would be a respectful way of reaching out or communicating that tip? And I know that families that I've worked with in the past have gotten some really strange things, really odd tips coming their way. But what would be something that you would consider a respectful way to communicate that information? if someone were to have a tip?
I kind of, Dawn and I, and we've had conversations around this, and I think Dawn's right. Like, if you think you see Athena or Mateo on the streets, or out in public, I think the best thing to do at that point is to call 911, and report it that way. If it, another avenue would be just call SAC PD. You're absolutely correct. Like on the Instagram site that we started, we get some strange messages. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't really respond to anybody. Or I say, if you really think that this is, if this is going to be helpful or you spotted them, call SAC PD. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that people have to go down paths that are not helpful,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have people that are grieving and trying to, put the family back together and put the pieces back together. It's just
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that people feel that that's necessary.
Yeah.
Throughout the process, have there been any moments that have kept you going? Anything, any memories or thoughts that you reflect on that keep you moving forward?
Yeah. Obviously there's milestones throughout the year, birth anniversaries, birthdays, special events. We made some t-shirts with Athena and Mateo's pictures on them, seeing pictures, and it just keeps them fresh in my mind and keeps me going. I also have photos of them up at my house. Actually, I have a photo of Angelica at my house and photos on my phone, the lock screen, the photo shuffle, some pictures of Athena and Mateo with my granddaughter. And, it's just keeping them front of mind, I guess. It's so easy the days to just go by, and they go by so quick, right? And then the weeks go by, and then I would say that's probably how, just keep it going. And talking to Dawn, making sure she's good and she gives me strength.
It sounds like you guys are very supportive of one another. So
I think so. I would say so.
it's a great
I hope so.
definitely. So I think going back to, you had mentioned, the days pass and the years pass, the anniversaries. I know a lot of people in the beginning, there's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the time passes, it's like, now what? What do we do? And what does that look like? I know you guys are trying, different avenues through social media and things like that to keep getting the word out. Is there any thought or a plan of how to keep it going?
Maybe. I think that, yeah, we definitely want to keep this going. Dawn and I are really trying to learn TikTok and Instagram, and we're getting together this weekend to link the two accounts together, and post like one post a day, which is overwhelming to us, but we think that we can do it. Like, we're like, okay, we can do this. So, those kind of things, I think, will keep it, those kind of goals, and
Yeah. No, I think that's a
keep
good
it
point.
going.
Yeah, definitely keeping goals in mind and reaching them,
Well,
because it keeps them in the forefront.
one of the women in our village, I don't know if I want to say her name or not, but that's what she recommended. And Dawn and I were like, oh my goodness. But I think she's right. I mean, she's absolutely right. If we want to really make some traction and get some momentum here, and get the Athena and Mateo, their faces out, and the whole goal is to make this go viral.
Yeah. And I think that's where the younger generation, their strong point is,
It
right?
is.
They
Yes.
love social media and
Yes.
all of those, TikTok videos, and that's where they get their news. That's where they get
Yes.
everything. So
Yes, they live off of this stuff. Yeah, John and I are going to leverage the younger generation for sure.
perfect. Well, and it gets them involved too. And I think that's a good point. Also, I'm glad you said that because I'm thinking about families that I've worked with. And
Mhm.
so normally the adults are making all the decisions and the kiddos, whether they're, young adults or teenagers, feel left out. Like, what can they contribute? What can they do? But this
Yeah.
is a great way to get them involved
Mhm.
and make them feel
That's a good point. I
like they're a
haven't thought
part
about
of,
that.
they're a part of the process. They're a
Mhm.
part of helping. And I think a lot of times, again, they feel helpless. What can I do? I'm only a kid. I'm not an adult.
And there's a lot you can do.
They know a lot about what's working in their social media
Mhm.
world. And so, there's a lot they can do. That's a great connection for them, I think.
Yeah,
A little empowerment
I
piece for
think you're
them.
right.
Hey, we talked about the kiddos. We talked about the social media. What kind of public support would you find helpful?
Well, we are not sure. We're trying to navigate the best that we can, and we're learning as we go. Um, you doing this podcast, huge for us. Thank you so much, Tamra. You're one of those lights in this world, and we consider you part of the village now. Um, any other idea? I mean, we're open to any other ideas. We are working avenues to um, get this out in the news. We've worked with different local news stations. It's had its moment on the news. We're hoping to get more. I don't know. We're open to any idea.
Well, if anyone has any tips, feel free to email us
Please. Yes.
and we'll share that information with you. But I think you're making good progress, I believe, and the people that you're connected to, I know, are great at this
Oh, they're
social
amazing.
media.
Mhm.
So hopefully we can get the word out and make it a national thing, get it everywhere around the
Oh,
world
that
if
would be the
need be,
goal. Yes.
to you haven't forgotten about those kiddos and
No.
never will. And
Nope.
they need to come. They need to be safe and be home with their family,
They
people
do.
that are going to care for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's hard not knowing where they are and what they're doing. It's really hard. Try not to think about it.
yeah. So I know families that I've worked with had missing children. That's that void you can't fill until you have that answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that this won't have too
Me
much
too.
longer
Me
because they're
too.
already, they're still young. Athena should be
Right.
in school
Yeah.
at this point, and so those are also pivotal moments that you don't want to miss in your
Right.
loved one's life, your child's life. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get them.
Yes.
All right, Julie. Well, thank you for being on the Victim Justice Unveiled podcast. And before we end, is there anything else that you can think of that you didn't share today that you wanted to share? Any information about missing children or your loved ones? Anything that you want to share with our audience?
Um, I think I just want to express my gratitude to you again for this opportunity. It means so much to myself and the family. Your support through this journey.
I'm honored that you guys allowed me to be a part of the journey. So
Mhm.
I hope and pray that this will reach immeasurable amounts of people. So thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on Victim Justice Unveiled, where truth is honored, voices are uplifted, and justice is reimagined. Justice isn't a verdict. It's a lived experience. If this episode moved you, share it. If it informed you, act on it. And if it reflected your truth, know that you're not alone. Together, we unveil a path toward change.